Today on Running to Him.
Items which are used in worship and dedicated to God will remind you of His mercy, glory, and grace. Today's reading is Exodus chapter 39, verses 1 through 18, and we'll concentrate on verses 6 through 7. Exodus 39, 6 through 7 says, "They made the onyx stones, set in gold filigree settings. They were engraved like the engravings of a signet, according to the names of the sons of Israel. And he placed them on the shoulder pieces of the ephod as memorial stones for the sons of Israel, just as the Lord had commanded Moses." Well, God created beauty, and this beauty surrounds us with colors, sounds, and smells. I remember when I visited Vancouver, Canada, and went to the Salmon hatchery on the Capilano River. There was a waterfall there, and as we walked through the beautiful forest, we heard the sounds of rushing water. Then we came upon a waterfall which was stunningly beautiful. God made all of this beauty to remind us of Him. As we look at the architecture of the 1st and 2nd century synagogues and churches, they reflect a beauty in their stonework, their frescoes, and paintings on their walls. Many of those synagogues had paintings depicting biblical stories, reminders of God's work in the past. Now there are 5 ways in which we learn: smell, taste, touch, sight, and hear. In modern Protestant worship, we only use 2, that of sight and hearing. If we think about it, we are not using 3/5 of what God created in us in which to learn. The early church in Judaism recognized that, and they used all of the senses so that they could learn more and draw closer to God. So why don't we as Protestants use smell and taste and touch in our worship of God? In part, it comes from the nature of the Reformation itself. The early leaders wanted to distinguish their worship from the magisterial Catholic worship. Ulrich Zwingli didn't see any usefulness in religious art and incense in worship, and hymns took the place of the chants of the early church. So now we have replaced that which we've lost with another art form, that of modern worship music. Now some church music sounds more like a modern music concert than congregational hymns. These churches have strobe lights and smoke machines, and those on stage are performing for our enjoyment and entertainment. Now I don't want to leave the impression that I'm against some forms of modern worship. I enjoy some of it, but I think we are attempting to make up for the lack of smell, touch, and taste with loud, sensory styles of worship. Unfortunately, it isn't working. I believe that we can use all our senses in worship. We can build beautiful churches with art that depicts God's interaction with mankind. We can be filled with the sense of awe and majesty in our worship. God recognized our interaction with the world is best accomplished with our 5 senses. If that fact is true, why do we leave out 3 of the senses when we worship Him? We should rethink how we approach God in worship.
Thank you for listening. We pray that today's devotion was meaningful to you. We would love to hear from you. You can use either Facebook or YouTube to like, subscribe, share, and tell others about us. If you would like to contact us, you can reach me at phineasjacobus@runningtohim.net.